Hello and welcome. Welcome to the channel. I was going to start this video in a completely upbeat and amusing way, but unfortunately things went wrong. It was a major catastrophe. Everything just went wrong. I tried, and I tried, and I tried, but it didn't work. So in the end, I said fuck it, and I'm starting again, from scratch. So what have we got on the bench here today? Well, guess what? It's an RM40. But it's not just the RM40 we all know and love. It's the one that I've got. And it's changed. The original video that I was talking about a moment ago was me doing all of the work where I stripped off the covering and I glued the new material on, and we had a bit of bant about going through the how we're going to cover it, and do I go for the sparkly or do I go for something else, or should I have the sparkly end cheeks and a plain top? The sort of fashion decisions we all have to make on a daily basis as blokey blokes. Let's start with the nice pretty end cheeks. Now, I went through all the different things that I could have done. I could have stained them, I could have varnished them, I could have put a shellac on them, or I could have done all sorts of wonderful things. But in the end, all I did with these was use olive oil after sanding them to bare wood. It was as simple as that, just straight extra virgin olive oil. I even made a joke about rubbing up extra virgins. You get arrested for that in this country. That's the end cheeks, and I have got them marked on the back, although it'll be almost impossible to see on camera. As you see, I've done all four edges, and I took off the damaged bit of wood that was on the front, which was this edge. And it has revealed two lovely grain patterns. Now, I could probably need another coat on these just to finish them off. So that is something that you can do very easily. You don't need anything more than a bit of cloth, tissue paper, a brush, whatever, and just rub the oil in. In fact, let's do it on camera for you now. Here is the pot of extra virgin olive oil. And as you see, it's that lovely, fresh, light-coloured super squeezed olives. You just coat it in olive oil. Doesn't have to be a thick coat, just rub it there, and then when you go round, just do the front, just rub it all over, and then we'll set that aside to dry. Originally I was thinking I could use peanut oil, but that's quite expensive in the UK. And some people have problems with peanut oil. I don't quite know what happens. Something about lips swelling up and not being able to breathe, choking to death. The usual things that happen when people have an allergic reaction to things. So I did think about sunflower oil. Again, very cheap. I don't know what the price is abroad, but certainly in the UK you can pick up a bottle of sunflower oil for, I think it's about 30p, which is somehow next to nothing. So there's one cheek, that's done. I'm going to put that over this side for the moment. Going to do the other side. And as you see, all I'm doing, rubbing oil into its cheeks, because we love rubbing oil into its cheeks. Nice and shiny. As I say, the oil will soak in. It will take about 10-15 hours, something like that. Just leave it to dry and it will do its thing by itself. You don't have to worry about it. So that's the oil bit. I've also got the front panel here of the Roberts just sitting here. I've taken a small dent out from this control. I've sort of smoothed this out a little bit and got it to sit a little bit flatter. It's never going to be perfect, unfortunately, but all I'm going to do is, when I bring this piece in, is I'm going to glue this down into its position again and make sure it sits flat, and that will be the front panel like that. But before I do that, let me just move that out of the way. We have the box, which has gone glitter black. I fancied doing something different. It didn't have to be perfectly natural and anything, so I went for the black. I was thinking of a snakeskin finish. At the moment, with this particular RM40, I've done this now. The material is a vinyl covered cloth. It's imprinted. It's £7 a metre off eBay. I covered both the cloth and the chassis, carcass, whatever you want to call it, in Gorilla wood glue. This stuff. So that's it. Spread it out thin with a brush and just let it go slightly tacky before it had gone totally off, and then laid the cloth on it, tucked it under the front edge, tucked it under at the back edge. So to finish this off, I'm going to trim the edges now and just make it so that I could put the end cheeks on. When all that's done, I will glue the front panel on. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scalpel, and the sharper the blade the better on anything you're doing like this, and just run it along the very edge against the wood, occasionally doing a sawing motion, but just running it along the wood like that, and then we'll turn the piece round and you should be left with quite a flat edge. And anything that sticks over will just sit on the inside of the cheek, but I'm just going to shave that last bit off. All you do is you repeat that 4 times, 4 edges, and then we can come back to you. Back in a moment. Why are all these bits of timber on the bench, George? What on earth could you possibly be going to do with those? Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to do some cramping. Oh no, that's Chinese, isn't it? Clamping. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the front panel that we have, this lovely, wonderful piece of nearly flat aluminium. I say nearly flat because it does have this location sort of bezel on it here, which fits into this hole here. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Gorilla wood glue. Now, there are a couple of places you don't want to put the glue. Dirty mind! Shut up, you dirty mind! And that is excessively round the speaker here, because it will squirt through the grill itself. So I'm just putting a little bit there. I'm also going to put a little bit in the center, but not a great deal because I don't want it to spread too thickly. Get the bezel, put it in position, making sure it's through. Now, as you see, the glue is coming through there. Wipe it away with a damp cloth now. Like that. It just washes, as I say. It's like a PVA. That goes there. That's one in position. It's not often you can start a section of video with, hey, look at my cheeks. Ah! But here they are. Here are my cheeks. In close-up-ish. And as you can see, they have come out exceptionally nicely. I'm going to just turn them over so that you can see the finish. Just catch the light in the wood. That's 2 coats of olive oil. Nothing more, nothing less. The front panel is stuck on. It doesn't look too bad. There's a couple of bits of glue coming out, which I can rub off later. Just need to give it a rub over with a damp cloth here. And I'll do that before I put the speaker in. This is ready to go back together. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. And you'll notice I've marked the 3 holes where the original feet were. I've got these rubber feet as replacements. These are not Roberts originals, but these are £2 for 50 on eBay. So that's the feet on. The other thing to do is to just poke the holes through for where the power supply. I'm just going to cut that as a little cross into the covering. So there's one there, and you can quite plainly feel these. If you can't, just go from underneath, feel roughly where they are, and you can get an indentation into the vinyl. There you go. Now, before you can do anything with the power supply and the radio chassis, you have to put the cheeks on because you won't be able to get to the screws when the speakers are in. I'm also going to get hold of the original neon bulb holder, which I took off when I was doing the clamping because I didn't want to break it. And these have quite a unique way of going together. It's got two little tabs on the side, and there's like a bow tie slot. You put one in the other and twist. It just sits in there straight. There's some muck on there which I've got to take off. So that's that. Now I'm going to put this face down and find which cheek goes to which side. This says bottom and this says rear, so that would be that side. So I'm going to start it off by obviously putting in the easy screws, which is this one here. And there we go. So that's the screws and the rubber feet, and she sits there. Now she's not rocking and rolling because she's on the 3 feet, making a nice stable tripod. So that just leaves us with a bit of a clean up of here. I've got to fit the dial glass, which is a separate piece of glass here, or plastic. This needs 2 strips of an adhesive tape. You can see these 2 white stripes on the inside were some sort of adhesive tape, just a double-sided sticky tape. Well, I'm going to use that good old favourite, the phone screen tape, which I've used for sticking dial glasses on in various videos. You're looking in the back and you can see that the tape, it's a bit glary if I put it that way, but I'm just sort of tilting it back. I haven't taken the backing off it yet, because I wanted to make sure that I'd put it in the right place. And as you can see, this one here is too high up, because then you will see it from the outside, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out, just turn it over, unpeel the strip, and put that on the bottom half, like that. And just make sure that that's stuck to the acrylic. I could say Perspex, but I don't know that it is Perspex. So let's just check it again. It's the bottom one that was down, so there we go. Now I can definitely see that that is going to fit in exactly in the right place. So let's give that a quick rub over once we've cut these ends off. Just rest that there, push it down, and then I'm just going to get a clean cloth, and polish any of my fingerprints off. Now all I'm doing is I'm screwing in the speaker, just tightening up the screws. I've put in the faceplate. Here, Melanie, do you think they'll notice? What's that? You got to speak louder, they can't hear you. No, they won't notice. No, you're all right. If you spot anything, just let me know in the comments. So once I've done the speaker, I just have to refit the ferrite to the chassis. So let's get this assembly. I did toy with the idea of taking the original capacitor bracket off, but in the end I said, there's no point. It might as well stay on there. It's not hurting anybody, and hey ho, life's like that. So let me just put these front screws back in and the back ones before I put the actual ferrite rod. putting those two in for now because I want to still be able to move this around, because this one will go on this end and it will sit round about there. Let's just make sure it's in the right place. Yep. And then this one, assuming I've got enough cable on the end of it, which I should have seeing as it came off, will go to there. And again, that will sit on there, round about there, like that. And now I can tighten the other screws up. So let's put those in. Okay, I'm going to get a dab of Gorilla Glue Clear. And I'm just going to place that at the back like that. I don't want to completely saturate it with glue, because if I ever need to adjust it, I want to be able to move it. Let's now go for the dial plate. We lift that up. That goes in there. Sits on those little tabs like that. Both sides. That comes down. Now to fix that in place, you're going to need your little pliers, and you just hook these in a sort of twist motion like that. You don't need to do both, you can do just one. And let's just check the smoothness of the dial cord again. There we go. Pull the knob off, because pulling knobs off is always a good thing. And then we're going to start to reassemble this into the case. Let's put this bit in first. If I can do it without breaking everything, it'd be great. And that will just slide into the corner. I'm just trying to make sure I don't trap the speaker wire. There we go. Just line that up in position so that everything fits in. My knobs fit through the holes. And I'm going to put my transformer in. There we go. And the one screw that holds in the chassis, which I was quite surprised at, but hey, Roberts. Then we get the back panel, which I did give a rub over with a damp cloth, but I don't want to go any harsher because I don't want to damage it any further. It's already warped and twisted. I could try making it damp and flexing it straight, but let's just go with what we've got. Now we need the antenna thing out there, and what we do is we slide it into the groove. Get into the groove, boy, you gotta prove your love to me. Name the artist, put it in the comments. Remember the trouble we had doing this before? Do we have to put it in the bottom first? Finale. There's always a joke about that, isn't there? Because we're lads. Sorry for the scouse mounting position, but that was the easiest way to demonstrate it without shifting everything around and making things look a bit silly. So what have we got now? Well, we've got the top, the sides, the back is on. It's got its own FM aerial in it. The medium wave, long wave aerial is fixed into the top with a dab of glue. And I've put the knobs back on. Let's just turn everything down. They don't quite line up. Why they've got lines on and they don't line up, I have yet to figure out. It's one of the bugbears about this particular radio that I've got, that things don't quite line up. And I'm going to be doing something anyway, because I still have a missing bright from the AFC control. There's a big dent in the tuning knob where something's obviously fallen on it and broken it. It's absolutely not a perfect set, but it's presentable, I think is the word I'd use. Looking at it in the cameras, you can see it's got a nice sparkly top. The sparkle goes to the front panel here. Front panel's on side cheeks. You've got the nice grain at the very front here. This looks absolutely gorgeous. I keep going on about these end cheeks, but they are absolutely gorgeous. Mains plug, British, 3-pin, later model with the insulated sleeves, so you know it's a later plug, but this one still is a hard plastic, so it will probably shatter if you stood on it. Crabtree is the brand. Quite a good make in their time. So what can we do? Well, we can hit the power button.
Piggy bank. Lidl's Lupaloo range, that's big on quality and always little on price. Subject to availability, selected stores excludes their eye.
Introducing Calder Meadow Park, a delightfully landscaped new development.
So this is not just far off the bottom.
These spacious, traditionally designed homes with a glorious...
Now I'm going to take it right up. It's going to sound awful on YouTube, but I'm going to do it anyway.
So ideal for first-time buyers or growing families. 2-bedroom homes are available from £66,000 and 3 bedrooms available from £80,000 for a 40% share. Calder Meadow Park. Visit Orbit Home.
Sounds awful, doesn't it?
Calder Meadow-Park.
Nobody would ever want it that high.
Assessment. Rent is payable on the remaining equity.
So, yeah, here we are. It's playing adverts.
And it's home to the UK's only Peppa Pig World.
Enjoy a great day out for the whole family.
Let's all go to Peppa Pig World.
Home of Peppa Pig World.
Party Park.
This is the last station. Stop, everyone off. End of the line. Oh, not again!
It
Not
sounds
getting enough
nice.
sleep? Enjoy exclusive...
For robbery and assault, but as required by California's sanctuary law, local authorities released him. Days later, the criminal alien went on a gruesome spree of deadly violence. He viciously shot one man going about his daily work.
This isn't the last time you'll see this set, or its twin brother, which is sitting over there. You can't see it, I can, but it's somewhere around here. There is the twin brother of this set, which may or may not get a recover. I'm going to look at it and see how bad it is, how good it is. I am planning to do some modifications to this. The first thing that you must notice about this particular set is that it has no dial lights. It doesn't light up. I'm working on something that will change that. Probably LED based. I will try and get these knobs and brights all cleaned up properly and polished and made nice. I have plans for a Bluetooth receiver to go in this, and I think that will make a separate video on its own, fitting a Bluetooth receiver into any radio that has an auxiliary input socket, because why not? Makes sense to me. Thank you very much for watching. I'm hoping you're appreciating it. If I'm doing something wrong, leave the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up. You know, the one that looks like that. Not the one up my nose, but that one. And also, if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button, hit the bell to get all your notifications for when I do the next video, either on this or something completely different. I do have a whole batch more of Roberts radios, but I also have some other bits and pieces I want to do as well. So rather than bore you with just transistor radios, get a subscription and you'll see what comes up, and it may be something you're interested in. With that, I'm going to wish you all the best. Thanks very much for watching this RM40 video, and we'll see you the next time. Bye for now.